This episode may contain graphic language and descriptions, nicotine use, and may not be suitable for younger audiences. Opinions expressed in this episode are of the minds and experiences of the participants and do not represent those of any other people, organizations, groups, or recovery-based fellowships that may be mentioned. We speak only for ourselves.
God bless you. We love you, and we hope you hear something that helps you. Thanks for listening. Dude, I have no idea.
Yeah.
These are probably like the cheapest XLR mics that you can buy. I would
Could have fooled
imagine.
me, bud. Could have fooled me.
Yeah, whatever. So a little differently before we start on our tangents. Another Peel and Onions episode. Welcome back.
Back at it, bro.
I think this is episode 10. I think this is 10. I don't remember typing 10 after episode yet in my uploads.
That's pretty impressive.
You dudes fucking say something, man. I'm just fucking with you, dude. That was funny, though.
I was like thinking, like, is it 10? I don't know if it's 10.
You were giving me the most absent fucking stare right through me.
I kind of disappeared there for a minute, dude.
Got a little kombucha?
I went back through the weeks and I was like, how many times have we done this? Is it 10? Is it 6?
Oh, we can't do it by weeks, dude. 'Cause
Yeah.
We had a little
We
bit
had
there.
some hiatuses.
Yeah, and some failed recordings. What's going on in the life of Nick this past week?
Life of Nick, bro. Nothing. Holidays, work, sim golf league. So we are super high handicap just because, like, in sim golf, you usually are higher handicap than you are outside.
Now, are you going to this one that's by Joey Chops in Malvern?
No, so I used to play that with my buddies that I golf with during the season.
Yeah, you and I went there the one day.
Yeah, and you had, that's right, you had the 275 piece.
That was that on the sim?
Yep.
That wasn't on the sim,
You had
dude.
the best drive of the day.
Ah, no way.
275.
That was at the range.
No,
I thought.
that was at the sim.
Oh shit.
It was like it was literally like a string straight, dude. It was just
275. God damn it, cat.
But no, this one's actually out in Pottstown. So a friend of a friend used to own a business, had a warehouse office building.
Okay.
More of a warehouse than an office building. Sold his business, converted it to a sim, started with one bay. Now he has like literally 7 bays up in there and growing.
Hot damn,
This
dog.
place is sick. But every week I go and do a scramble tournament.
That's fine.
And we keep playing really well, but our handicap's fucking us. So we're right there though.
Okay.
But last time it went good, dude. Good drives, good irons. Yeah, man, good holidays. That's about all I got.
Nice.
Basement is still, lots of ideas flowing around.
Yeah, y'all put that carpet down there. The rug on top of the carpet. That wasn't down there last time I was here, was it?
I think it was, yeah.
Was it?
But there was a bigger coffee table. No,
There wasn't any table.
So there actually wasn't. Yeah, you're right. We did get that sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. We also got some new rugs for our
you?
house. Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
What's good with you guys?
Nothing much, man.
Is married life?
Yeah. I really think we're just kind of checking back in to what life was before all like the events. Just because like we're gonna give it a little bit before the kids come. I mean prayers that the kids come, and before.
So I gotta pray for you and me.
I mean,
I'm cool with that.
I mean no. I would feel dumb trying to buy a house right now. That's just me personally. Like, I think prices are starting to look better, but it's not about the price anymore because of how high the rates are. Like, the price is basically negligible for me at this point. Like when I'm hearing that people locked in more, I mean, not like I can buy a house for the same rate that it was back in like the 90s or the 80s, but like I work with people where like, yeah, like my rate's under like 3%. I'm like, how the fuck How the
Dude,
fuck is that going to
have
happen?
you looked up what rates have done throughout the decades, dude. Listen to this real quick.
No.
It just gives perspective to where we're at. But as someone with a 3% mortgage rate, I feel you.
Yeah.
Interest rates through the decades on mortgages. Sorry for the little break here. I just gotta. All right, so
If you text in front of somebody, are you somebody that narrates what they're typing?
no, I just make them wait. But we're recording. So
I know
I'm
a couple of people that
self-conscious.
do that. Well, yeah, sure.
All right, 1970s 7 and 8%. 1980s 12.82%.
Oh, no shit.
1990s 9.83, 2000s 8.15, 2010s 5.09, 2020s 3.72. So just to throw a little like,
Wait, are those like increases and decreases, or are those just like flat rate
so
numbers?
they're median mortgage interest rates.
Oh shit! Damn.
So like I saw that the other day and I was like, all right, this just changed my view on the fucked housing market. But you know what? The housing market's still fucked.
Well, that completely shatters like my narrative that I had in my head, kind of.
You hear that, Leafy boy? I shattered.
I mean, that's the only reason I'm alive today.
I shattered a narrative today.
It's fucking
bud.
important, right? Yeah. Go ahead, dude.
But
Pet your kitty.
but
bet.
nah, dude, I feel that. Like with everything I just read to you, I say the same shit to Lauren. So
But like,
I want to stay
and-
locked into my 3.
Dude, the only places that really seem affordable are places that are like not too far over the bridge in Jersey, which is like, I've talked so much shit on New Jersey for such a long time, dude.
Just cause. How
Yeah.
could you not?
Yeah. I don't know if I can hang it up and just move over there though. I mean, we always end up over there.
Yeah.
Still somehow closer to my family and her family for sure.
How far would that be to work?
Oh, to my job now. It would be, well,
Hour plus?
it would depend. It would depend on what. No, not at like,
What you doing, Bobby?
I would be leaving at like at least 5 in the morning. So like at that point, at that time, there's people on the road, but
Are you working in Westchester right now?
yeah.
So you'd have to take Commodore Barry and
Well, it
okay.
depends. Like if I go closer to like if I go closer like central, you know what I mean, over the bridges, then I don't know. I would maybe have to take 76 to 202, or just take the turnpike and then get off at whatever. I don't know.
Was Leo pissing you off the way he's hitting the mic?
No, he's just distracting me. Hopefully, it just doesn't mess everything up.
Yeah, dude,
I think he's on the cord though. You may want to. Is that latched in?
yes.
Okay.
You all right there, Bobby?
You may have to move though, or may have to move the cord out from under him. Yeah, come here, bud. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, dude, mortgage rate and taxes, I guess, are the 2 things that make up your payment. So like,
Maybe we have to do more meticulous.
yeah, so like when you go into an area, I would just check out the school district first of all, because you want to have
You can
kids.
keep going.
But second of all, just looking at the median taxes. Couple examples for you around here. Taxes are 3,000 to 4,000. Just as an example, because you're a Delco boy. When my grandparents were living in Chichester, their taxes were 10,000, which is fucking criminal.
Yeah, I don't know if we would want to go to I mean, we just don't want to go to bad areas. You know what I mean? Like there are banging houses that have been renovated in like Derby, for example. I don't want to live in Derby. Or like the more east part of like Lansdowne, like closer into West Philly. Like I don't want to move there.
What
Like,
about
all those
like
kind of
Ridley
places.
Park?
There's just not a lot
Media?
available
Yeah.
right now. There's
Yeah.
just not a lot of selling right now.
Yeah.
I'm on Zillow every day, dude. Every day I'm getting Zillow notifications.
And you haven't even started the bidding wars yet. But dude, somehow, some way, you'll be in a home. Call
I
it
know
a year.
that. I know that. I think I'm just anxious to have it done.
Yeah.
I don't want to rent anymore. I want to actually be able to do shit to my house. So I feel like I come home a lot of times and like I have like chores and stuff that I do, but then I'm just stagnant. And I feel like if I had more stuff that I could do to the house, like that she would want to do, or that Madeline would want to do, then I would be way more occupied.
Yeah, I will say, dude, like Like being a homeowner, like the amount of like ownership you take over literally every inch of your property is crazy. So like when I rented, I didn't really give a shit. But like if I'm walking up my stairwell and I see like 3 weeds in the garden on the right, those fuckers are getting pulled.
And like I care, but like I can't overstep my boundary with a house that's not mine. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting though, man, to be getting into looking, maybe starting to like go to some open houses and shit.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
We still have a little bit financially to go before we can do that as well. But either way, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, dude.
Work is good. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. I told you about like something that, and I mean, I have to mention it here, that like an old coworker of mine started this brand with, I guess, like family members of his. And it's centered around like mental health awareness due to like things that have happened like within his family. And like not going to name drop or anything, like out of respect, and he wants to start kind of like making it more of a brand and incorporating like a podcast within that brand umbrella, and has asked me to go on there and do this. I don't know what we're going to talk about or whatever, but like that'll be something that happens in the future. I invited him to come and hang out with us tonight. If he had said yes, like we would have been at my house, but yeah, I think he just got caught up at work or something. But
So not to like pick at information about like his thing, but is this like a more of a product offering or like a product and a service?
I think it's both.
Okay.
I think it's just like a brand that offers this and has this.
Okay. Is it a nonprofit?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't really ask him too much about it yet.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm sure eventually if they got big enough, they would like to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had tried to start a clothing line at one point. It was called Live With Us, and it was like all one word. And if you ever saw my hoodies that say like "Don't give up, it'll be okay," like I made those. I don't know if you know that.
I remember you telling me all about that at the God is Everywhere, right? Don't
That's
you have
not
one?
mine.
Oh, that's not
not
yours.
mine, no.
Got you.
I wish I could take credit for that, but that's not mine. But like I was making like you have to front the cost for the production and then you get paid after you shell out the money for the cost. So like you're immediately taking a hit until the payment clears. And for me, not like struggling, but living frugally enough to the point where like that could put me in like a tough spot financially.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't keep up with it. And but if I'd made that big enough, it would have been a nonprofit for sure. Like that was my goal.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I would love to get involved with something like that. I just feel like I would go more the route of, as kind of lazy as this sounds to say, more of the route where like I'm providing designs, but I'm using your products, I'm using your infrastructure, and I just get a cut of anything that sells. Like I know that they do that. They do that with clothing. I have a friend of a friend does it with wallpaper. She literally like submits artistic designs for wallpaper, like simple shit, and anything that people buy, she gets a cut. It's kind of more the route I would have to go. But yeah, like initial investment.
So on like a contract basis or like a collaborator or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I roomed with a girl that was a major like designer for Urban Outfitters. She worked in the Navy Yard, and she would do freelance and contract shit all the time. That she would just charge her own rates for it.
It's awesome, man. I'd love to get a side hustle like that.
It's interesting. You don't strike me as like somebody that has like a want for creative outlets.
Entrepreneurial type shit. Yeah, I do, man.
Entrepreneurial aside, but like the subject matter of like sending in designs for clothes, like you just don't peg me as like
no, I don't think I'd go that route, but like I don't know, dude, something where I could I could definitely like let something out there. Like who knows, dude, I might start writing Hallmark cards. We don't know. Yeah.
I have writings on my phone that I write every so often over the years.
Yeah.
I have like they're like just very structured, kind of like word vomit. But I have an Instagram for them. It's called Jeremy Can't Write.
Nice.
They get like really dark and like really weird. A lot of them border on like venting like suicidal ideations that I had at one point in sobriety, like all types of shit. Like I just throw everything out there. But it was something that I really like to do.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So what's our ESPN segment looking like today?
ESPN is Go Birds.
Go Birds. Go
Saquon.
Saquon. Free Saquon, dude. I'm gonna say it.
I know.
I'm gonna say it. I don't get like it is way more likely that he breaks the record than it is that we want to even make the Super Bowl, in my opinion. I mean, we talked about this downstairs. The only team I'm really scared of from like both sides of the ball is Tampa Bay. And I don't really see why they're not being talked about enough. It's not just because they beat us. It's because they have like that Vita Vea dude is a nut and can definitely just like hold a team back by himself. And Baker Mayfield's just got that fucking dog in him, dude. He's really got that dog in him.
Yeah, the big plays, the throws to Evans. You got to put a scout on him. He runs like their defense is pretty good. You really can't run against them.
No,
So you can only really throw. Like they scare me more than any other team probably.
Yeah, like when you go down the line of like Packers, Commanders, Lions, Vikings, and you say Tampa Bay is the only one that makes my stomach move a little bit. Like all the other ones, dude, I'm really not that worried about. And I said that about the Commanders before we faced them the first time. And I said that about the Ravens and about the Steelers, and they didn't give us any problems.
Yeah, so the Packers were on that list for me, but I watched the Vikings D is pretty good, and I watched how the Vikings D did against them, how flat Love and the rest of the bunch was, and I was like, we could beat them.
Yeah.
Because they put pressure on them, they covered, they double teamed, and like Love couldn't get any of his receivers going, and I was like, all right, we got it.
I would say like JJ would probably be like Quignon's biggest test, though. I think he's got some height on Quignon, probably. He's a tall dude.
Well, we would do what every other team does, which is design our whole defensive scheme around Justin Jefferson.
But don't they have that? They have Addison as well, don't they?
They do, and he's heating up. But I just think that if you can shut down JJ and get decent coverage on Addison, you have a chance. Because like it's not like our offense isn't going to step up.
Yeah.
Now that we throw the ball again,
as long as Tanner McKee's in there, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a big Tanner McKee guy. I just am. He's kind of like a statue back there, but I mean, I don't know, dude. I like how he throws. He's a good passer.
That was incredible to just see those throws, though, dude.
Yeah.
How excited he was. And then AJ had to go get the ball.
Oh, yeah. And then the most obviously Delco dude had to bring the fucking ball back, dude. I took one look at that guy and just knew he had to be from somewhere in the county.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He got a signed jersey out of it, though.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, no way AJ wasn't going to make that right. So we have that. How far away is the start of the soccer season? Soccer season starts at like end of February, I think, like in the last week of February. And we just signed a replacement head coach like 30 days maybe before camp starts. So better late than never, I guess. Don't really know much about the dude. He took like an expansion team to like a number 1 seed, which is really cool. I think his record overall is losing. The union make me so fucking sick, man. I know you don't know much about it, but like our ownership is like at the level of frustration that like I would be if I was a Cowboys fan. Like except like the Cowboys just spend their money. They just spend it poorly, in my opinion. But like, we just don't spend money, dude. We just don't. Like, we sign like pretty good like B to B plus players with like our international, like our designated player slots, which are reserved for like higher end international stars to come over. And every team in the MLS has like a set amount of those. So you can't stack a team, even though Inter Miami has like basically like 2000s Barcelona squad on their fucking team, which is just insane.
That's smart.
Dude,
These guys can
so
ball.
crazy. They still haven't won though. They still haven't won the league, which is crazy. Like being able to watch Lionel Messi play in America has been pretty cool though. Yeah, I'm upset, man. I just hope that we're better this season. Flyers are like hovering around 500 still. I think they're on the wrong side of 500 after losing to Vegas, like 5-2, 6-2 last night. Vegas could very well be like a Stanley Cup team. Fourth game on like a 5 or 6 game road trip. And I don't know, dude. I think our number one goalie just got hurt again, pulled his groin. Like just like aggravating an injury that just seems to happen all the time for him. Maybe not all the time, but very frequently. And so our backup is this real gangly, like 6 foot huge goalie that has been through like this whole like being arrested by Russia and forced into military service thing, and then somehow came over and we signed him for like 3.25.
I feel like you were telling me about this because in Russia you have to serve. Right? Yeah.
And he came over last year somehow, but we had drafted him like years prior, or maybe not years prior. I might not remember when we drafted him actually, but he single-handedly helped Russia get to like a gold medal. Like he very much did that because their team couldn't fucking score that year. But he came over here, looked kind of weird, and he's just like. Then we have this Belarusian guy who's like the first Belarusian goalie, or maybe Belarusian player. I don't know which one. And it was wishy-washy on whether he was going to come over because he wanted to be guaranteed. It's reported that he wanted to be guaranteed a spot on the NHL squad. And it's like, bro, you're like in your early 20s. You never played in America before. And the NHL is different, dude. NHL is different than anywhere else. And anyway, he came over, started playing on the Phantoms. Our starter got hurt. He got pulled up, and now they've been rocking with 3 goalies. He's been a new goalie. He's shown flashes of greatness. Like, I'd be upset if they actually moved him at all because I think he could be really good. It'd be like a Bobrovsky thing where we gave up on Sergei Bobrovsky years ago, and now he has gone on to be like one of the best goalies in the league and like won a Stanley Cup last year. And he could have been with us. We were just talking about players that leave Philly and do really well.
Yup. They boom in other spots.
Yeah, happens in Flyers land all the time. Happened with Jeff Carter and Mike Richards years ago. I mean, they just really liked like drugs and hookers and stuff, and like having a weird locker room. But they went on to win a couple Stanley Cups for the same team. Like, I'm just excited for the draft because we have 6 picks in the top 45 picks, which is insane. And
6 in the top 45.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I just really hope that Danny Briere and Keith Jones like do something with it.
Just go all out, dude. Like
a lot of moves, a lot of like
rebuild over, like time to win.
I would like a player trade or 2 for like one of the first round picks for sure. And I would like them to trade. I would like them to use one of their first round and one of their second round picks in like legitimate hockey trades. Who knows? Don't think we'll make the wild card or in the playoffs, but I love hockey, so I'm gonna keep watching.
Yeah, we got to go to a game, dude. I'm over telling you I'm gonna watch. Let's just go to a game.
We'll
go to a hockey game. We'll go to a soccer game.
Dude, I get I don't know if my family's going to do like a soccer package this year. We've been doing it like every year, like partial season tickets. He's fine.
He's fine.
He's okay. We've been doing partial season tickets for a number of years now. Like union games are really fun, man.
Been to one.
Especially because like there's this one sausage stand. It's not like within the concourse like a Chickies and Pete's or something would be, you know? It's like its own little stand on like the side of, I think opposite of the player benches on that side of the arena. and it's just this little stand. You just go like hot or sweet, and you get onions and peppers, and that's it. And it's banging. So fucking good, dude. Yeah, Union games are fun. But if we get tickets to them, I'll probably be able to get you in there for one game.
What's like an average ticket price for a Union game?
These days I couldn't tell you.
Because I feel like when I was in there, like I could be wrong, but isn't every seat a pretty good seat? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I feel like I remember that from the stadium.
There's like sports that I don't like sitting too close to the field for. Like I feel like football would be one of those. Mm-hmm. I don't like sitting too close to the glass at hockey games because like the glass can like warp how you're looking like down the way or whatever. And I don't really like it. I guess I really don't like sitting close. I just think the views aren't that good. I like to be able to see everything.
Yeah, baseball and basketball, I definitely do.
Basketball would make sense.
Yeah. Football, I do like to be back a little bit.
I like watching football on TV, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I go to a game in person. Like we went to that Broncos and Browns game, which was super fun. And I've been to a couple Birds games, but I like the announcers for some reason. Mm-hmm. Give me like security or something.
Bro, I'm almost 40, and that's nothing to do with what you just said, but I'm one of those, hey, best seats my couch. Like all the parking and coming off the exit, like I'm good in most cases. I respect the people that go to like a million Flyers games or Phillies games. I feel like unless you have season tickets, you don't go to a million Eagles games.
True.
But like I know people we used to work with that would hit like 10, 15 Phillies games a year. Like, no, thank you.
Okay.
I know I sound like a crab.
No, it's fine, dude. It's fine. Like I very much get it down to a science, like going in and out, like never really stressed about it. Like I know where to go, where to park like in the parking lot. Phillies games are a little harder. Anywhere that you have to park in like those lots with the overhangs on them is tricky because people just tailgate in every open spot. But yeah, it's all right, dude. It's not that bad. Getting in and out of Flyers games can be really easy. And
it'll be easier soon.
Yeah.
Chinatown, 1.3 billion.
Oh my God, dude.
City council approved it.
Dude, they're not even including. So driving past, we had to go to Jersey for a lot of the holiday travel, and on the screen on the front of the Wells Fargo Center, it says Happy Holidays, and it had the Flyers and the Wings logo. The 76ers logo was nowhere to be found. But like I don't know, dude. Like I had no idea that they had to rent a room there for like a really long time. Like it's basically not even their arena, dude.
So before all this came up, I honestly didn't either. Mm-hmm. Like there's tons of cities and you know, like basketball and hockey are played in the same place. I mean, LA, SoFi Stadium, you got 2 NFL teams in the same stadium.
Yeah,
I just didn't think it was that uncommon.
I mean, Utah's an expansion team in the NHL this year. I mean, expansion, quote unquote. They're like, but basically everybody from the Arizona Coyotes, when the team just couldn't be a team anymore because they didn't have anywhere to play, like moved to Utah. But it's still an expansion team, I believe. But I'm pretty sure they're just playing where the Utah Jazz play.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were like guests either, though, man. That's crazy. Yeah. I wonder like how that stadium's gonna shake out. I mean, obviously everybody talks about the parking, the traffic, but we'll see. I don't know, dude. I think it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea personally. I don't like it, but I also don't live there anymore, so it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Forgive my belly making a cameo for the viewers, the eye listeners.
So what onions we peeling, bro?
I don't know, man. The last time we were here, we had a Wicked sponsorship episode.
Yeah.
That we ended up actually not even talking about when we re-recorded it because the audio got all fuzzy, and we had to do it again. We didn't even end up talking about that topic again.
Oh yeah, that's right, dude. We said that we were gonna try to. Yeah, so we did the one here, then the one at your house. Said we were gonna go back over some of the topics, and obviously it went wherever it went.
Well, yeah, but we went over the topic of everything being focused like internally rather than externally, because like that also came up in the sponsor episode that will probably never see the light of day. But We came back on that on the last episode.
Yeah. But, well, now I feel like we should just start there again and see where it goes, dude. Internal versus external. Fix the outside world versus turn that thing around and look inside.
So I have an example of this.
Real quick, this is the one thing that very few people I work with want to do, just by coincidence. Yeah. Go ahead, though.
Well, wanting to do and actually doing it are also like not like mutually exclusive or whatever. So part of my job's contract in the union is like they're real big on just like cell phone use. I am somebody that always needs like to feel like brain stimulation. And when I just like sit somewhere like stagnant, like it's fine if I'm like trying to meditate or if I'm sitting at home or something, like purposefully trying to do that. But if I'm at work and I mean, I'm an assembly worker, so I either have work or I don't. Excuse me. And a lot of times recently we don't because of holidays and stuff. So I got one write-up and then a second write-up and suspension. So I was suspended on Monday for just being on my phone. And like super embarrassing to admit. I feel like a child admitting that. But like, dude, and it's literally like they come on the line when I'm just answering like a text message in 30 seconds. And they're like, yeah, bro. Like, nah.
Just pull your card right then and there.
And I'm just like, and it's so hard for me to not justify my ill feelings towards that. Because, and regardless of whether I stay here or not, but like they have to be voiced, like the opinions, like I don't get it. Like, I don't get why this rule was enforced when nothing was being hindered production-wise. I wasn't sitting there doing that instead of working. I wasn't making a phone call. I wasn't chit-chatting, you know what I mean, with the wife for 20 minutes. And I just feel like a whiny little baby, like talking about it and having all of these things that I find wrong with it. And then, dude, like, I actually don't mind working there. And then another justification is, like, if you don't want me to do it, like, keep me fucking busy. And I just have all of that. Like, I went down a million rabbit holes, like, on that 3-day weekend, right? Quote unquote. Just thinking about that and, like, getting super resentful towards the supervisor and all of this shit, dude. And thank God I have a wife that will actually tell me that, like, dude, you're kind of like, I know you don't like it, but it is what it is. Like, that's what she said to me. And not as many words, but which I needed to hear. And I know that, you know, but like, we need people to tell it to us sometimes. I just didn't want to look inside, dude. I was like, bro, there's way too much here to point to the fact that I'm right. I can't let this one go, dude. It just fucking ate at me so much, so fucking much, man. And like, I like working there, and they have like, with like having security of a union contract. So like, I know how much money I'm going to be making based on my abilities and all of that kind of stuff. And I like that. The insurance is really good. I like the people I work with. I don't like being on my feet stagnant all day, but like, and that shit just fucking sent me, man. Just sent me for a fucking tailspin. And then eventually I in my head, what kept popping up was just the acceptance passage. And just knowing that like I knew the rule and I broke it. And like, that's what it is. And a very immature oversight of behavior on my part. Not fun to say, right? Even worse to think about when you first think about it. But yeah, so that's my recent experience with not wanting to look internal for solutions.
Dude, I feel like those are some of the hardest situations, though, when like you understand a rule, it's set in stone, it's there, but you have a justification in your head that to like 9 out of 10 rational people would make sense, yet you still have to follow the rule.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a fucking test right there.
But it wasn't even, and the thing that like, it wasn't even like every time I pull my phone out, I'm consciously saying like, fuck that rule. Like I'm just doing it. You know what I mean? And like, that's why I say I'm somebody that always needs to be like stimulated. That's not an excuse by any stretch, but I'm either just this way or I've been programmed to just always need to be like, I need something going on, you know, unless I purposely am having like a quiet moment to myself. And, bro, when I'm just like, we sat there for, fuck, I don't know, dude, 5 hours, maybe 5.5 hours with dick to do absolutely nothing.
So
Stood there.
You're supposed to just talk to each other and stand there?
Yeah, which I mean, like when you put it like that, like it sounds like I do like the people I work with. I like talking to them. You know what I mean? They're cool people. They're funny.
I just meant like as
like them.
opposed to like prepping your line or cleaning something up or.
Well, you can always do that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But we do that on the regular,
Okay.
and like it's just. I don't know, dude. And that's my exception, right? I have like I take exception to that. Like, dude, like nothing's going on. But it's a rule written in the contract, you know?
Yeah.
And I even hate that I fucking brought it up. I don't know why I'm talking about it right now. But yeah.
Those are the ones that like really fuck with you though, dude. Like when you know you're fucking up and you don't have a good rationalization. Like my spiritual growth, it's still annoying and it sucks, but at least I know. Like at least it makes sense and I know that I'm just fucking up. But when like I legitimately can't understand why it's like this and I have my reasons for why I do what I do, it's not as easy to figure out like why I can't fucking let go of it.
Yeah.
It's like, am I a 12-year-old? Like,
Yeah.
do I just really think I should be the exception to the rule? Like,
Yeah.
Like I think it's different because it like the way I have to just break it down when I get frustrated is enough. It's not the same way. It's much easier when I'm just being a jerk or I'm wrong. You know, it's yeah, dude. Stupid rule will fucking send you on a tailspin. But
Yeah. So I'm on the tail end of that whole resentment style fucking thing. Clearly, I don't know. I just have like adjustments that I need to make, and just like whenever I'm probably like addicted to my phone too, partially, which like I worked really hard on relieving, but then ever since this whole thing started and like I hop back on social media, it's just like I never left. And like there was a while there where like I really I didn't have anything to look at, didn't need to look at anything, wasn't looking at like reels or shorts. Still grateful that I never have a TikTok, although I use every other app like it is TikTok. Yeah, and it's probably just my like I know it's my fault that like when that reflex came to like grab my phone, like I let it happen. And I know that I could have stopped it. Don't like that. But rarely ever like the right solutions that I arrive at in my head. So there it is.
Yeah, dude, you bring up a point though with like I like how you said like it could be the way I am or the way I'm programmed. And like you were talking about kind of like overstimulation. Dude, I have a huge problem with that, man. And I like everybody else, I think, or a lot of people, I normalize it. It's fine. I'm not doing anything like harmful. I'm not gambling. I'm not, whatever. But just the constant need that I have to be fidgeting with something and engaging my brain. Dude, like it starts to get to me in a way where like I don't know how to sit still. And what I'm noticing recently is my normal adult habits start to slip. So case in point, kind of something I'm actually struggling with right now is going to fucking bed.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
that's my biggest thing right now.
I don't know what's going on with me, man, but like I cannot go to sleep until like 2:00 in the morning.
Oh shit.
dude, like and it's funny how we were like joking about like you know, the childish joke. Like, dude, I go up there, you know, and lay next to Lauren at like 10, and like usually we're pretty cashed out by the time we go up there. So when we go up to bed, she is out within 5 minutes religiously, right? Like when she says like, all right, I'm tired, I'm going up, she's out within 5 minutes. I go through this process where like I lay down on the pillow, and it's like my head starts to tell me how far I can stretch it. It's like, well, yo, it's 10 o'clock, and really you don't really need to go to bed until 12 o'clock. Because you get up at 6:30, and that article you read said that as long as you're getting 6 hours of sleep, you're not doing any damage. So, dude, like my head is legitimately co-signing why it's okay for me to push it as close to 6 hours as humanly possible.
Right. Yeah.
I'm putting on shows, I'm playing stupid games, I'm scrolling. Sometimes I load up the FanDuel and drop a little 25 on the slots. And dude, like I find myself in a place where I just can't stop.
Yeah.
Like if I try to just lay there and relax and drift off, I can't do it. And so I know I'm like kind of coming on hard here, but like
No, dude, it's incredibly relatable.
You hit on something that like I'm struggling with, because it's like if I don't get to sleep, I can't get out of bed early. And if I can't get out of bed early, I can't go to the gym early, which is a goal of mine.
Okay.
Because when I try to go to the gym later, my work day gets in the way, because like so on my job, if we're going to a gym, whether it's at work or at home, we're allowed to take an hour and 15-minute lunch break.
Oh, really?
Like the owner of our company was a big like ultra marathon guy, like crazy about exercise. So that's actually written in like our HR policies. Like you can take an hour and 15-minute lunch if you're doing exercise. But
during that time?
During the workday.
Okay.
During the workday.
Okay.
So like now I can't really go in the day because it's too busy. Then when I get done work, I say I'm going to go, and I don't go because I'm tired and I'm hungry. So it's like this one thing is fucking up all these other things. And in order to do the one thing, all I would have to do is just sit there, and it would be uncomfortable for a little bit. And dude, that's a big one for me, man. Like I remember we talked about this like 3 to 6 months ago when I clued you in on the fact that I watch Facebook Reels videos while I drive.
Oh my God. Dude. Yeah, that's a sign of a problem, dude. If you're smoking crack while you're driving, like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, man, I relate a lot to it. Mine gets to the point where I don't stay up until like, I like have to be up at like 5:15, or I'll probably be late. So I'll stay up until like midnight some nights and only get like 5 hours of sleep. And that is how long I like stay up. And that's how, when I say that, I mean, that's how long that's what time I put the phone down. That's definitely not what time I fall asleep, because it'll take me another 15, 20 minutes to lay in there before I actually fall asleep. So like I'm probably really going to bed closer to like 12:30. And at that point I'm getting like less than 5 hours of sleep a night. And
do you feel that as someone in your mid 30s? You're in your mid 30s, right?
I don't know, because I never really I can't really recall ever having like a full 8 hour sleep schedule. Like even on the weekends, like I'll wake up we'll go to bed at like 11:30, 12, and I'll still wake myself up at like 6:30, even if the cat doesn't do anything. So like, I don't even know if I need 8 hours of sleep or not, but I'll be dead fucking tired when we go upstairs. And as soon as I get into bed and get my phone in my hand, it's like I catch a second wind, and I don't know what, I will be asleep on the fucking couch, and I'll be like, babe, I gotta go up. She'll be like, all right. And we go up there. I lay down, and I'm awake for another hour and a half, 2 hours, laying in bed when I was just falling asleep on the couch. Like,
all right, I feel better.
But And I have books that I put at my bedside table on purpose so I can read them at night and not be on my phone. Madeline and I have been through she has stuck with it, which is just incredible. But like we've been through like moments with ourselves where we talk to each other and realize that like we need to stop using phones and stuff before we go to bed. And it was working for a little bit. For me, it was working for a little bit. She just switched to like reading all the time and like fantasy smut, you know what I mean? That whole genre is really blowing up right now. And so like she has her Kindle that she reads a lot, which is fine. And but I just can't not like I just have like hockey on my phone, and then I minimize the game, put it up in the corner of my screen, and then I sit there and I play a royal match until I run out of lives. And then
Do you drop $1.99 for 1,000 extra coins?
No.
No, me neither.
$2 for 1,000 coins, dude. You're getting fucking robbed.
It's 5 more lives, and I'm a fiend.
It's 8 more if you buy the royal pass for $10.
That's true.
Yeah,
I've done that. I've done that.
I've done it too. Whatever, dude. But I don't know, man. Like, what I try to tap into is the feeling of when I eventually do stop, and trying to embody that as a mindset that I can tap into on purpose. So, like, eventually at night, I'm like, okay, like, I don't need to do this anymore. Like, I just need to go to bed, right? And then after that, even if I am up for a little bit, I still put the phone down and I try to go to bed. And whether or not it works, whatever. But at some point, I do make the decision to do that. There's definitely something there that I can tap into to make it more, like, on demand, or at least more readily available of a choice for me to make if I want it. Like, an easier justified choice. And, like, things that I've been playing around with in my head are, like, literally nothing that I'm about to do matters at all. Anything, any fucking short that I see, I don't think about any of them when I wake up in the morning. They don't influence my day at all the next day unless I see one that I want to show a coworker. Like, they don't do any of that shit. Like, the game, like, I'll play in my car when I'm on break. Like, none of that shit fucking matters, dude. It's all there. You don't need that kind of satisfaction right now. And I'm trying to work through that. Like, I have Jordan Peterson's new book on my bedside table. I read a page and a half in the airport when we were flying to Colorado and haven't read a word since. And I really loved what I had read already. I can't even begin to talk about what the fuck I had already read because it just blew my mind. But I have so many books that I can read, so many really great books, and I just don't. And I know from when I was trying to not be on my phone late at night that if I try to read 3 pages of a book, I'm ready to go to sleep after like 1.5. Mm-hmm. It just works for whatever reason, dude. And like it's kind of like just coming to grips like inside with yourself, like, dude, like, what are you doing? I know it's like it might be kind of cliche or like oversimplified, but just like being that strict father that, like, it's what I like to tell myself is like having strict father characteristics towards yourself. Be like, dude, like, you're. What's the point of any of this?
Yeah, like so because I'm kind of deep diving, trying to figure out like not only how I can start to move away from this, but just your question right there, like, why am I doing this? I sort of let my head dance to like different possibilities, and I don't really grab any one of them too tight, but I just let my head go to like some honest sort of inquiry on what it could be.
You mean like actually answering the question?
Yeah, like what I don't want to do with it is I don't want to make like a super counterproductive big deal on why I'm doing it. Okay. and like get myself like wrapped up or like, whatever.
I more so meant the question as like rhetorical and like also as a statement. Mm-hmm. Like if I saw somebody like hanging around like B Street down the way when they have like 2 days sober and they're trying to stay sober, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't need to answer it. It's more like, how about you don't fucking do this?
It's
You
like
know?
the statement,
Yeah,
the
not
statement
like a legitimate
itself.
question.
Yeah, like so as I ask myself that question, dude, I'm thinking, am I trying to escape from something? Like, am I just not really as passionate about pursuing the things I want to pursue as I tell myself I am? So like, you remember like maybe 6 months ago by now, you remember I sent you that one page of that book that I wrote?
No.
No. So it was called like something about peeling onions. I sent you this one page of this book that I was going to start. I sent you the intro.
Okay, vaguely.
Yeah,
I think.
so-
yeah, a little bit.
So like I was so passionate about that at the time.
Okay.
And in order to further ignite my passion, I came home from the day in the gym at work where I got that motivation, and I wrote one page down on the computer. Haven't touched it since. And it's something I want to do so bad, dude. Like I want to write just things I've learned, things that I'm passionate about, like all kinds of, creative style, kind of introspective style writing.
Okay.
And it's like, I just start to realize, like, dude, do you not really want to do these things like as much as you say you do? Like, do you just want to disappear? And then when I go down that rabbit hole, I think, well, what do I want to disappear from? I have a great job, a loving wife, good health, good family, hobbies, friends, health, if I didn't say that already.
Yeah.
And then I'm just fucking perplexed, man. You know, like,
Even though like this is a show about like diving deep into like topics of things, I don't think it's that deep. I think it's purely just like an addiction to stimulation.
that's what I was trying to say when I said, like, when I let my mind go there, I don't grab onto any one of them. I just let it wander.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know, because it's like, I guess the point though, dude, is like I sincerely want to get more present and start utilizing my time with like more things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
It's just like, but I'm a firm believer in like the way that we attack things in like the 12-step fellowships are like ways that you can attack pretty much anything. On this plane at least. So I mean, it's all about just like fucking doing it, right?
Mhm.
You just got to do it. Like even if you don't want to, but like you also, I do believe like you can't feel like, if you feel like you're robbing yourself of something that you actually enjoy, you're not going to be happy about it. So like, I mean, I see a lot of funny things when I'm scrolling through my phone, but like, dude, half of them, like I couldn't even pull 90% out of them for a fucking reference in like conversational format if I wanted to. Like I would reference like It's Always Sunny or something. Like I could never do that. And like sports are always there. There's always time to watch that kind of shit. Like, but I don't know, man. I frame it in a way where like it's actually something that I have to give up something that is harming me. Like that's just it. Like I try to not overcomplicate that. Like it's bad for me. I've had to give up things and habits that were bad for me before. Let's just use the same techniques that worked with the other ones on this one.
yeah, dude, that's kind of the way I look at it too. I just like I wasn't gonna say this on our podcast because then I would be held to it. But I think I am gonna say it because then I'll be held to it.
I just basically talked about like texting in school. Dude.
I know. But like you talked about it as if you've already experienced and like kind of dealt with that in a way, like it happened.
Yeah, I have to. I can't let that kind of shit sit with me for a long time.
Yeah, like so I just like something I'm going to do is I'm going to go on some kind of a 1-month blackout. And what I mean by a blackout is I pick, we'll call it 4 to 5 very basic goals. And I'll give examples in a minute, but I set a start date and an end date. And for like a 30 to 45 day period for starters, I pursue that goal every single day. So like one of the things I want to do is get out of bed at the same time every day for a stretch.
Okay.
A second thing I want to do is hit the gym a certain amount of days of the week for a stretch. Not every day, maybe. The third thing I want to do is drink a certain amount of water every day for a stretch. Yeah, dude, I don't carry those around because I lose them like you would not believe, dude. Like if you open that cabinet right there, we have about 17 of those things, and Lauren's like, don't take it out of the house. But fourth thing I want to do is spend quiet time in the morning and get back to like the 11th step regimen that I had at one time. Fifth thing that I want to do is spend at least 1 hour every day doing something that I'm actually passionate about from a goal standpoint. Writing, researching recipes or something that I can make that's like good for me, sitting quietly, whatever. But for like a 30 to 45 day period, sometime this winter, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to tell you guys how it goes. Because I have to get some kind of a regimented discipline like that back.
Yeah. Do you think that kind of regimented discipline is better instilled one goal at a time, slowly accumulating successes? Or do you think it's a good idea to just jump all in and possibly set yourself up to like quit at the first point of failure right away?
So very interesting question. So I've thought about that, right? I've thought about
blackout. Like when I'm in the recovery house, dude, I'm in there. I'm blacked out. Like I know.
Yeah.
Gradual about
blackout's a strong word, dude. Like in rehab, you ain't calling mom, like nothing, right?
Yeah.
But I think the reason that I'm calling it that, and that I want to pick two like actionable goals and two like you already should be doing this anyway goals, is because like I feel like that'll better set me up for already expecting that it's going to be uncomfortable. Like, so part of me feels like I might be setting the bar high enough that I could say fuck this very quickly. But part of me realizes that at every stage of my life that I've jumped into something, I don't really tiptoe into anything very well if I look at my track record.
Okay.
So I just feel like, 4 or 5 manageable things put together that prioritize health, spiritual wellness, and passion could be like a really, really cool thing. Like, dude, check water off the list. If you can't hit a water goal, I just should hang it up, dude. Like that's unacceptable.
Damn, dude.
Like let's say I say you're gonna drink like 1.5 liters of water. Like, come on, I gotta be able to do
a liter of cola.
No, what?
You get the reference? You ever see Super Troopers, dude?
Yeah.
Liter of cola.
But so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna do it sometime real soon, and I probably shouldn't talk about it until like it's done. But I'm just hoping that like something like this will get my head out of the clouds and back into like what I really want. Because I'm really happy with how a lot of things are going, like gym progress, golf game, marriage, kind of recovery, although I'm a little bit like, a little bit like spaced right now. But yeah, I just feel like it's going to get me back into the flow. And I feel like maybe I've read a lot of people's stories of like doing kind of annual resets. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
You want to do some kind of blackout with me, dude?
Probably not.
No, you can do 1 or 2 things.
I already want to fix my sleep. I want to read more. And this isn't like a resolution thing. This just happens to be, I think it's a coincidence that like I'm deciding, like I'm not a big resolution guy. Even though I don't do it very often, I believe if you're just going to make changes, you should just make a change. And I was like, when does a resolution end? Like New Year's resolution, like when I want to start going to the gym more. Okay. When are you going to start going to the gym more than that? Is there a time when you're going to stop going to the gym more? Like, it's very open. It's a very open-ended thing for me. I just never really liked it.
Yeah.
And it just feels like trendy, which like by default my brain says is like stupid. I think anything trendy is stupid. But then I eventually like buy into it, usually like a year or two late. And yeah. But I want less phone time. I want to stop like doom scrolling, which is huge. I've actually been off of my gym regimen for a little bit. I need to get back on that. My supplements have like gone down the shitter. I just kind of I think I got distracted by like all of like the wedding things that were happening and used that as an excuse to stop doing a lot of things that were always felt inconvenient for me, but were very good for me. And so yeah, the gym, reading more, less phone. I'm not worried about less phone because I've done that before. And that's kind of it, man. And I mean, I would say like financial or like attempt at like entrepreneurial goals, but like we have this and like there's the other thing that might or might not be happening. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, dude, I'm not I would also get back into my meditative practices. It was like when I lived in the city, dude, those were strong, like for a while. I'm talking like I got up to like being able to just sit there quiet for like 30 minutes a day. Either before work or when I got home. And it's incredible, man. It's incredible what that can do for you. It does so much for you the same way that in the inexplicable way that prayer does a lot for you. And like, what can that possibly do? And it's like, well, wait till you try it for a while and then see what happens. And then you just can't fucking explain it. And like meditation did a lot of that for me. Yeah, so like phone thing, meditation, gym, and reading more. That's about it. Being more like regimented at nighttime, is kind of like where a lot of that culminates from.
Yeah, man, I love it. Like it's definitely a lot of the same kind of goals I have, like swap reading for writing, and maybe a little water in there for me. Like we're pretty much right on track. But yeah, I feel like I've mentioned this like pretty recently, dude. But like I've been tackling this the way that I have like a lot of the other fears that come up for me. Like I sit with it a little bit. I pray on it. I try to figure out like whether I'm avoiding the fear or taking small steps to at least stay put or move toward the fear.
Okay.
And usually just like, try to be helpful to other people is kind of like my, my elevator speech on the way that I typically tackle fears. But one fear that I've been getting that I feel like I've mentioned is like, I'm definitely getting this fear of regret. Like I feel like I'm kind of getting to the point where like
of like time wasted.
Yeah, like and it's not really an age thing, dude. It might be a little bit. Like I'm almost 40. I know that God willing I got a lot of years left, but like I got the opportunity to build a life and an internal sense of like self and peace and a lot of these things, right?
Right.
And I just like I'm getting this fear like that I'm gonna wake up in 10 years and be exactly where I am with the things that are like important. Like I guess it's mostly a fear of untapped potential.
Oh, I can relate to that.
And I don't know if it's because I watch way too many motivational videos and they talk
probably.
about this a lot.
I stopped watching those, by the way.
Did you?
I just believe that maybe it's my perspective on them, not to like sidetrack what you were talking about, but they always led me to, I think, being overly critical on myself. And whether that means I'm weak and like can't amount to like the challenge, like that's fine. Then that's just the way it is for right now. But there was no question about them having more of a negative impact on my psyche than a positive one. no matter how much I tried to like parrot what they would say or try to mimic the mindset, try to like take their words as like codes to live by and keep them in my back pocket, like it just never worked for me. I think like I feel that true motivation that has worked the best is the one that I've conjured within myself productively.
That's
like,
interesting.
Not
dude.
something that I see for like 10 seconds before I swipe to the next one.
It's super interesting to think about, because if I look at like the whole of how much they've helped me, very little.
Like you have a bunch of goals right now that you shouldn't, right? If they were working, not to be a dick about it.
No, it's real, man.
And another thing is like I know, I don't remember any of the reels I watched last night. None of them. Except for maybe 2, because I watched them on purpose. There's this one, actually, no, I'm not going to get into that. It's really funny, though. I have to show you after we're done here. But, like, I don't remember any of that shit. Whether it's motivational, whether it's sad, whether it's whatever, dude. Like, I've seen millions of cute animals scrolling through my stuff on purpose because I like to, like pack my algorithm with, like, a lot of, like positive, happy fucking things that have nothing to do with anything. There's like animals being stupid or like really cute ones, because I'm a sucker for that kind of shit. But I couldn't tell you about a Tony Robbins video that I saw in like 2022 for 2 seconds when I scrolled through and then saw like 2 hippos fucking on the next one. Like I can't tell you what he said in that, dude. I can't. And like I just, my motivation for me works better when it comes from me having precedent in my past experiences of getting myself up, going to the gym just for like sake of the conversation and fucking doing it. Like thinking back to that, I've done it before. I can tap into that kind of motivation and drive. And that's what I'm going to use. Like using somebody else's just might not work for me.
Dude, it's all right. So as you say that, I'm thinking to the program a little bit and my experience in the program, right? And like
compare yourself to yourself.
Yeah, so internal motivation versus external motivation.
Okay.
Right? So there's different styles in recovery circles and different ways of motivation and accountability that people respond to, right? Like so one school very much believes in like the call me on my shit and like kind of TC, like get at me, you know, pick me up and like hold me accountable. It's just interesting you say that, because I've always been much more responsive to the nudge variety. Hey man, I've heard you say a couple times now that you want to work on yourself in this way. Why don't you just go ahead and do it? Yeah. Rhetorical question again.
Yeah.
Right? Like what it does is it just gets me internally pondering and like starting to prepare for action. And it's like, it's just interesting, dude. Cause like, I don't really respond well to like people coming at me, but I do respond well to like people challenging me in like a respectful yet like nudging, provoking kind of way.
Yeah.
So it's funny, like maybe that is something that like I guess I get, like internal motivation is something that like you can push forward and it just comes from somewhere.
Well, and you've also had it before. Like you know what it feels like, and you know what it took to get you there last time. I mean, there's just different areas of your life to apply it to. That's it, dude. It doesn't need to be bigger than that.
Yeah.
Like very, very attainable.
It just has to be intentional and deliberate.
Yeah.
And that, I think that's what I'm struggling with.
And like, and I mean, then we're kind of like talking about like inadvertently why like AA works so well with the whole like suggestion model. And, I was trying to like find, excuse me. I was trying to find like really, really good, like descriptive words of what you were talking about, like nudge versus like being whatever the verbiage is that you used. And it very much is. I very much respond more when I feel like I've been presented with a choice rather than pressured into a choice, because then like the consequences of not doing it seem greater to me if I feel more pressured to make the choice. Whether that's like fear of what other people will think, fear of what I'll think of myself, like fear that I'm just going to be a failure forever and I'm never going to change, never going to get better, because how many times are you going to say no? But like when somebody just suggests it to me, it's like it's almost like you said, pondering, and like I feel more comfortable thinking like, okay, I could do it now, or like I can think about it a little bit, and I can definitely choose to do it like a day from now, which I mean, putting things off, I don't normally suggest, but yeah, the softer approach is definitely something that I don't know if I need to feel like I have the power in the situation, or if I'm just rebellious in nature. Like, I don't know what it is, dude.
It's kind of funny, man, because it's like, yeah, I guess it's all about the emotional response that each of these like general approaches bring up, right? So if the person comes at me in a very like strong negative way, like, like you're full of shit, man, and like you need to get better at this, and like, come on, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I just have a tendency to completely tune them out, because it doesn't give me the space to like pull anything out of myself. I now feel like I'm just trying to either get you off my back or please you in some way. Mm-hmm. And I don't respond well to that.
Yeah, there's a certain level of like irrationality. What my head would say is irrationality, that I just say whatever. Mm-hmm. And I just tune them out.
Yeah, like I tune them out, and the defiance kicks in for me a lot too. But yeah, like the nudging, like pointing route, dude, the other route, it's interesting because, like, for example, I would always love it when my sponsor would say, and he would do it like every day, every time we talked. And it was always like little nuggets. It wasn't like, Nick, we're on step 4, and, so we're going to do this for step 4, so call me tomorrow. Like, it wasn't real deliberate to a specific topic, but it always was in the general like vicinity of growing spiritually in the way that we were always talking about, right? Mm-hmm. But he would say something to me like, yo, why don't you try this communication style with your boss tomorrow morning and let me know how it goes. It was always like that. And what was crazy about it, just to talk about what that would do to my head, is it was funny, man. It was like my head would create a negative perspective, yet a motivating one. The first thing I would think when he said that was, this motherfucker doesn't think I'm going to do it. Why would he? How many people has he made these suggestions to and they don't do it? This guy doesn't think that I have it in me to try this stupid communication approach and tell him about it tomorrow. But what's so crazy is, like, I do it and I call him later and I tell him about it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all of a sudden I feel so like uplifted because I followed through on a suggestion, and like more open, because of course those little suggestions we get, there's always something behind them.
You tackle something uncomfortable.
Yep. And you always get something out of it, dude. Like it could just be, I followed through. I took a suggestion. I didn't do that for years. Mm-hmm. Right. But there's always something on the other side of it. But it's just strange, like tracking the motivation, dude. It always starts with like I know you doubt me, and that needs to change. He doesn't doubt me at all, dude. Yeah. It's a total conjured up thought.
Yeah.
But it's just funny, man. It works. Like it causes me to like just pull it out, just so that like I can show you that I can follow through and do what you suggested that I do. Mm-hmm. It's it, dude. But like, yeah, like, but the other way, man, I'm just like, even if I do it, all I get out of it is making you happy, and I don't
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah.
So
It feels like I'm not doing it for me. It feels like I don't have control in the situation.
yeah.
Yeah. It's important. Yeah. I don't have anything else for
that.
that.
Yeah, but no, dude, I guess I guess like you said, man, just gotta pull out. I'm kind of speaking to myself here, but just gotta pull out what's already there and like get the ball rolling on these goals, you know.
Yeah, man, and like I'm somebody that, how can I put this into words? I'm somebody that is very tuned to when a decision to make an uncomfortable change is staring me right in the face. One that I should make for the betterment of myself, by proxy, like other people that I interact with, and like all other areas of my life or whatever, or keep doing what I know I shouldn't do, don't want to keep doing, but is like guilty pleasure that like I like doing it. And standing at that crossroads, and like maybe I can just like paint a picture and like explain what I'm saying. So tonight when I go upstairs and go to bed, even though I don't have to go to work tomorrow morning, that will be one of my driving factors towards just doing what I want to do, what I've always done, what we sat here talking about. And I know what it's like to be standing here, not here, I don't sleep here, my house, in my room, staring at my bed and knowing like I'm about to go in there and turn left or right on the choice path. And I have that like in my head. That's what I experience with these kind of things. And I know I'm either going to disappoint myself again, not like want to blow my brains out or anything, but I'm going to fall short again and then beat myself up about it a little bit tomorrow and then try to do better. We'll see what happens then. Or I can like really like metaphysically face that knot that I feel in my stomach right now and just pick the fucking book up. And like, I know what that's like, because that's been in numerous times when I tried to better like a lot of things in my life, whether they stayed better, like a lot of my recovery work, or whether it was just lifestyle changes that were just better for me health wise. Like when I made the decision to try to, like when I detoxed myself from social media, which was very much a detox, because there would be a million times at RCA where I would experience that bodily feeling of wanting to pull my phone out and check. I feel like everybody knows what that is. And I would feel it. And I thought about it so much that when I feel it, I would say, do you really need to? Like, what if you just don't? Like, if you're about this, like, you can't pull your phone out right now. So, like, what are you going to do? You going to pull it out or no? You going to postpone it and, like, fall short again? Or what are you going to do? Not, like, being a dick to myself, but, like, those are kind of narratives that go through my head. Like, in real time and, like, real experience with my eyes open. And, so that's where I'm at with it.
That's a pretty impressive level of like momentary awareness though. Like as I was listening to you lay that out, like I guess for a while, man, I don't have those angel and devil type discussions happening as I'm approaching different circumstances in my day. Like it's pretty crazy to think. Like I know I used to. I know when I was like building up and growing and getting off like drugs and alcohol and all that I did, but like I feel like it, I don't know, it's just impressive to like have that dialogue in your day that can guide your behavior.
Yeah, I mean, thank you.
It's just, it is, like, man, it is.
Well,
like I wish I had an angel and a devil like 5 times a day, dude. I'd make better choices.
Well, I think it's because I don't need convincing that bad habits that I want to change are bad habits. And I don't like sugarcoat it with myself. like my phone thing in bed. It's like I know I'm being an unproductive, impulsive, like I don't want to say loser. That's how I feel though. Like I'm being like very unproductive and impulsive, and it's just something I shouldn't be doing. And like maybe it is like maybe that is like part like strict father kind of thing, but I know the feeling of like what gets me there. I don't know if it's because of like how big I take like 6 and 7 in the step process. But like I don't the only thing I could maybe attribute it to is like I know I guess it's back to like internal versus external is like down at like the deepest like layer of it, I guess, would be like I feel feeling. I've been trained to identify feeling, and at that moment I have a choice whether like how I'm going to deal with the feeling. Am I going to do what I've always done before? Am I going to implement like what I learned? And I think that just transcends to like to other aspects. Like so at work today, there were like a million times when I felt like I wanted to pull my phone out because I was fucking bored all day. And when I feel it, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Maybe not. And then I don't. Feel like a teenager saying that, but my brain, I need something. And I mean, I think that kind of, I wasn't aware that it was like any special level of momentary awareness, but I don't think it's something that like you have or you don't. I definitely think it's like an attainable thing. Like, and I'm trying to explain it in a way where maybe like people can like latch onto it. It's just like looking out for feelings and decisions, like looking out for moments. Like that's what we do in sobriety now, right? Is like we look out for moments when we feel resentful. We look out for moments where we want to isolate. We look out for moments where we want to choose comfort over discomfort and growth. We look out for moments when we want to be lazy and procrastinate and all these other things. And it's just like that, but with other things. Like I look out for moments when I'm about to do something that I want to change, and I'm either going to change it or I don't. I don't know if I can explain it anymore.
Yeah, I would almost go as I would almost think that like we all have it. It just gets doled out. Like I'm just sitting here thinking about the last like week, 3 days, week, 2 weeks of my life. Like to any moment where I was gonna pull out the phone to scroll, or was gonna stay up till 1 a.m., or was going to like hit the snooze button for an hour straight. And like, I didn't have that conversation, but like, I'm sure that it's there.
How often do you think about these things that you want to change?
I'm wondering if not enough. You want to hear what my alarm clock is real quick?
Do you have multiple ones?
So I have one that I just started. So I just want you to know that this will bother you very much, but it's supposed to.
Oh, good luck, dude.
All right. So this is the other night I got so low on my sleep problems that I this is what I came up with. I paid $1.29 for this too.
Well, we can do that today. Treat yourself. Get yourself that $1.30 alarm clock you've been wanting.
All right, ready? I got to turn it down because it's loud.
Yeah, this is interesting. Wake up. Bro, are you kidding me? Yo, if I was Lauren, dude, I would break your fucking jaw. Yo, you're insane, dude. You're insane.
That's how bad this has been, dude.
Yo, I can say though, like I use one alarm in the morning. I don't even set multiple ones.
Do you snooze?
No.
Holy fuck.
No.
You're like a different breed.
Well,
dude.
because I've experienced snoozing and I've experienced being late, and yeah. That pain, once it got great enough, led me to just getting up when my alarm goes off.
See, one thing I haven't experienced in like ages is being late. And I think the reason for that is,
well, you've been salary forever now.
I've been salary forever. I Used to have a boss that would stand at the front door, and if you were a minute late, he would send you home.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that guy, dude.
I mean, I'm on a point system now, so like.
And I used to run a big book study at the spot for 3 straight years where patients were showing up, and if I was late, I was just gonna look like an asshole.
Oh yeah. Even though most of them were late every time.
Yeah,
But whatever.
so I have like these little things in there that like don't let me be late, but the whole thing is I want to be up earlier so that I can get the 10 minutes of quiet time, like the sitting with my thoughts, the setting some intentions for the day.
Yeah.
But
Like that's another thing. Like that's another momentary thing where I have like, I've had those moments where like I want to snooze, and then I know if I snooze, I'm late, and like that's it. That's another thing is I don't set an alarm. I set an alarm with like enough time for me to get up and get ready and get to work without rushing. Another goal of mine possibly is to make that a little bit earlier, so I can have more time in the morning. But I don't give myself so much time in the morning. Like my alarm is like I have to get up and I still sit in bed. When my alarm goes off, I pick my phone up, turn it off, and then I sit on my phone for like 10 minutes in bed, and then I get up. Which is another thing I want to stop doing. Like I just want to get up and then, you know what I mean? But I don't give myself like an alarm where I would have like 30 minutes of spare time, and that's just me. Because if I give myself that room, I'm gonna use it. And it's not good if I use it, because I'm gonna use it in the way that I want to use it in the moment. And when I'm first waking up, dude, God is not in my fucking mind, bro. God is so far from it. When I first open my eyes, I'm just like, sleep, please. No, thank you. Want to sleep. So if I do snooze or anything like that, like I am screwed, even if it's just once or for 5 minutes, because I will be late. And I get a point if I'm a minute late. So yeah. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I just know now I hear my alarm and I wake up. And I definitely attribute that to experienced pain in doing the contrary and making that, being like forced into that kind of change. It's not something that I just decided to do one day. Like a lot of changes in my life, I had experienced enough pain with that in order to make the change, which I don't think is a prerequisite to change. It just seems to be a pattern that I, for whatever fucking reason, am very fond of. Mm-hmm. It's just feeling pain in order to make the change.
Yeah, I think that that's a little bit of a game that we all play, though, man. Like I don't personally think that we can always make the most ideal decisions without knowing where the line is.
Fair enough.
And like sometimes like I'm not just gonna do all this happy, productive shit just because it's fun or it sounds good. Like I gotta know where that line of like, nah, dude, like you're fucking up is. Like I feel like it's just kind of like a necessary part of me, like discerning what I need to do and what's important.
I feel like you know, though.
Yeah, well, internally, but on any given tired, frustrated, burnout day, like kind of like I was saying with motivation, like that dialogue in my head can kind of fizzle out, and I'm just sort of like wandering around, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think rest is important too. Rest from things. Mm-hmm. I just think it takes a lot. It takes a lot to just keep a rest as a rest and not a regression. Like that's where I fall short.
Ooh,
yeah.
a regression.
Some fucking fire, dude.
Yeah, man. Got all kinds of fire.
Tap on your neck, dude.
I feel like sometimes I need like habit discussions though, and like in recovery in general, man. Like a lot of the people that I got sober with just talked a lot about like steps or like experiences and shit, right? But there
when it comes to drugs and alcohol is like the thing.
Very important.
Yeah,
very, very
the
important.
Thing. Yeah, for sure.
But then there was these other people in like my early days, man, and they'd always want to talk about like what I thought was the most annoying shit. It was always health. Like there was this one guy, Frank, and he would always just be in conversations, and he's a one-liner guy, like real good with just like that provoking but not rude shit.
Yeah.
And like he'd listen to you say that you're doing really good and you're really psyched on how good your life is, and he'd say, yo, I'm really happy for you, man. Let me ask you something though. When's the last time you've been to the dentist?
Fuck you, Frank.
You know, or like you'd tell him that you want to quit smoking, and he'd be like, yo, make sure to put that on Facebook so we can all comment on it when you fail.
That I love, dude.
Yeah.
I love that shit, dude.
But like,
'Cause I used to do that all the time.
but it's funny, dude, because like he would say this shit that would make me kind of wake up to the fact that like part of an internal connection with like myself and a higher power is fucking taking care of myself.
yeah, his action.
But like kind of on like the, you know, health, well-being, like humanity side, right? Sleeping, eating decent food, drinking water, not throwing packs of Marlboro Reds in my lungs.
Unfortunately.
You know, and sometimes I just feel like I need like yo, let's talk about your fucking habits for a couple minutes, bro. Like, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like it's good to just kind of like hash it out.
Yeah. Like not drinking and using is definitely like the miracle, right? But I feel like in a lot of ways it should also kind of be like the floor of sobriety, you know what I mean? Meaning like it's absolutely incredible, but holy shit, is there not like more progression and habitual change and positive growth, and thereby having like more positive experiences and a more positive view of yourself and a more positive life, like beyond just like drinking and using, right? And like, I mean, I didn't get sober to have all my teeth replaced before I'm 35. Like, I didn't get sober to eventually have a heart attack when I'm 47. I didn't get sober to be fucking restless every day, from like physically restless through sleep and like mentally exhausted. Like, there's other things that like I can change. And I think that's like super important because, well, there's the whole HALT thing, right? Like hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And what that always spoke to for me was there are also very like realistic, basic human things that you need to do for yourself. Because if you don't, you will end up feeling like shit, and you won't know why you're feeling like shit. At least I don't, right? Because like I've been in that situation a couple times where I'm just overall not taking care of myself at all, and I feel like shit, and I'm like, no part of my program was flawed or missing or anything. At like 7 meetings a week, chairing commitment, H&Is like twice a month, all of that shit. You know what I mean? Sponsoring guys, doing my own thing, and I still like at some spots I would still hate myself.
It's got like this nagging depression inside.
Yeah, and it turns out like you need to fucking take care of yourself, dude. Like you're like I believe we're all like foundationally like spiritual, but you're also like a sack of meat that like you need to take care of that a little bit, dude. Like you can't just leave that on the shelf. Like you're gonna rot. You're gonna rot before your own very fucking eyes, and you're not gonna like it. Surprise.
That's right.
And oh, I had something else. So I very much, I forget where I heard this, dude. It was probably like on like a from a circuit speaker or some shit like that. Oh, it might have been a JP thing. It was probably a JP thing. But like it's no wonder that I hated myself. Like right before I got sober, like I didn't bathe ever. Never took care of my health, was smoking anywhere from like 1 to 2.5 packs a day, depending on how high I got. Plastering myself with like heroin and alcohol, real sugary alcohol too, towards the end. It was disgusting. Like how I felt physically, aside from going through withdrawals and everything. Not eating a goddamn healthy thing, like at all. No exercise except for like the 7-mile walk I would take to like Southwest Philly to cop. And it's no wonder I wasn't happy or I wanted to fucking kill myself. Because, like, if another human being treated me how I treated myself, I want to blow their brains out. You know what I mean? Like, it's no wonder I hate myself, dude. I'm treating myself like a piece of shit. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Go out and buy myself a bouquet of roses? You know what I mean?
There ain't no happy self-talk in that area.
No, dude. And, like, you got to do that. Like, if you don't, and that's like, so it's like coupled with, like, and this is why recovery is so cool in my mind, man, because, like, it gives you so many positive things to do for yourself, and you don't really realize that. And that's why we start to feel better about ourselves, is because we're doing, like, how are you going to have what's the saying? You're not going to have self-esteem if you don't do esteemable acts, right? And, like, it's the same thing physically, dude. Outside of all that shit, we got to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, and like back to the putting down like heroin or alcohol or whatever is the floor, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, man, because, like, when you talk to most addicts and alcoholics, the early years were a fucking blast. Loved it, loved every minute of it, wanted to do it for life.
Drinking and using.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Spiritual experience for some, looked up in the air and thank God for some, for the feeling, right? But it's kind of crazy. It's like what starts as an amazing thing racks up some skeletons as it gets deep, right?
Yes.
Start stealing from people, the lies are coming out.
Yeah.
And now the thing that was a blast is actually the thing that keeps the closet door shut where all those skeletons are, right? Like, my life is complete shit, but I have this thing that'll make me forget about it for an hour.
Right.
2 if I'm lucky. Once I'm, into this. And it's like, then you put it down and now that door is fucking opening, dude.
Yeah.
And you got nothing to keep it shut. Like, all the weird shit you did, all the things you got to clean up, all the things you don't like about yourself. Occasionally, some of, like, the goals and aspirations that you have start coming out of there because you put them in there too, right? And it's like, it is crazy. Like, what I love about recovery is it's like, there's just this part of it where, like, once you get past, like, the rough patches that can last a while and, like, the early house cleaning work, it's just set up to where, like, you're constantly trying to go further because you don't have anything to numb the issues. You know, like, I'm not, like you said this earlier, dude, I'm not great at avoiding where I'm fucking up. I can do it a little while.
Yeah.
But I'm not great at, like, repeatedly just being a shitty husband or, like, a lazy fucking bum and just co-signing it.
Yeah.
Somebody at a meeting's gonna be like, yo, you look tired, you okay? Or, like, I don't have, like, anywhere to put it, man.
Or God forbid, if you're really good at, like, just seeming the same way all the time, which I'm really good at doing by default. Like you would never know that, like, I had just gotten suspended from work on Monday and, like, spent my 3-day, right, quote unquote 3-day weekend on figuring out, like, how I'm going to get away with pouring water in this dude's gas tank in his car without the cameras catching me, like that kind of shit. And that's real shit, dude. Like, that's where my head goes. But, like, because, I mean, for a lot of us, dude, if we're not willing to, if we don't have that critic part of ourselves, like, we're good enough at hiding it to where, like, we're not going to get it at all because we're the only people that can see it. Yeah, it's major.
And like a nice popular, like, recovery cliche that I like, which kind of also happens to be a Lane Staley song lyric, is the only direction we flow is down. In recovery, you kind of hear it said as there's no such thing as coasting uphill.
Okay.
And it's like I constantly have to keep, like, pulling out the parts of myself that need work. And I'm not saying I'm going to tackle them all, like, yup, tomorrow, like, I got a list, I'm ready, let's go. But I got to keep pulling them out and figuring out a way to take a step toward them because, like, they're not going anywhere.
Right.
And I got a thing in my brain, some call it the inner critic. It's not going to shut up, dude. It's not supposed to.
No.
It's not supposed to be silenced.
Nope. Well, that's how we ended up here in the fucking first place.
That's right. Figured out how to rack up a whole fucking big list of problems and then just shove it all somewhere else, dude, and keep
Found
going.
a perfect little fucking blanket, cover all that shit.
But what's crazy is when you're doing the right things and taking care of yourself and like plugging away, and the inner critic shuts down, all the other stuff we talk about, dude, all the joy, gratitude, peace, quiet, all of it takes its place. So it's just like it's so crazy to know that like to say it this way, I signed up for a life where long-term avoidance will never again be an option. Short-term avoidance, I do it. Guilty as charged.
Yeah. What's the saying is like I didn't sign up for a conscience when I came in here, right? And you end up getting one.
Yo.
Yeah.
Just wanted y'all to teach me how to drink and use successfully.
Yeah, now you guys got me like thinking about shit and feeling bad about it.
Trying to be a good man and like look in the mirror and
Yeah,
like
I
what
didn't
I
pay
see.
for any of this dumb shit, dude.
No,
No.
you guys are a cult. Where's the ashtray so I can smoke in here? Oh, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how to only do heroin on Saturdays. You know, that's all.
Yep. Go back to just sniffing it.
Yeah, that's all I ever did. But doing the whole works thing was like it took so long. It took so much for me to get what I got. I didn't want to have to add like 5 other extra steps and like getting it into a fucking needle. You just get it in me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't. No, too much work for me.
The only thing that took me to the needle was financial means. So like
Okay.
just being at a place where like I really couldn't do enough. I had a couple buddies that they were just like, yo, man, probably shouldn't tell you this, but there's a way to get a lot more out of that little bit right there. That's kind of how it all started for me.
Fair enough, dude. And that's why we all stopped buying perks in the first place, right?
Yep.
It's like the same kind of concept.
But then you get to the same exact place with that thing, and then there's nowhere else to go.
Where do we go now, dude? Yeah.
Do you have another alternative?
Yeah.
Well, you could try your neck. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Fuck
How
that.
much DMT is safe to smoke in a day?
Yeah, right.
Maybe we go that route. Yeah, I don't know how long we've been going, but do you want to touch on like the whole sponsorship thing at all, or what?
Up to you, man.
Save that. I
We
don't mind
can
it, dude.
we can save it if you want, just so we don't only attack it halfway.
Is there anything about halfway?
All right, shoot,
I mean, halfway availed me nothing.
shoot, man, I'm ready.
Nah, I mean, we don't need to go on like a whole big thing, but like, what were we? So when we had talked about it, I think I had shared with you before we had started recording when we were out back that it like that area of my sobriety's just been kind of dry for a while. Like having sponsees, having anybody ask, having anybody respond to me that I ask if they are interested. A lot of people that I've asked at our home group just end up having one, and they're happy with them. Yeah, I think that was about it. And I've only really had one sponsee that you and I both know, that just did the damn thing. He just did it. Like, just told to work and just did it. And has since been married. I was at his wedding and is living, from what I understand, a pretty happy life in the Northeast. So like, that was like, I think that was like the background that we started on, was like, yeah, just feeling like the sponsorship life was like a little bit dry, and then just kind of sharing our experience on sponsorship as a whole.
Yeah, so like if I look at these periods and like sponsorship and my recovery, like it usually works this way for me. I don't know why. When I want sponsees, I can't find them or it's not working out. When I don't want sponsees is when they ask me.
I never feel one or the other.
No, like I
mean, when they're asking, when I have to do stuff with them and it inconveniences my time, I don't want them. I mean, like, I mean, it's, and that's just me being honest. I still go and I help them and everything works out fine. Well, for the most part. Sometimes they don't call me back, but whatever.
So there are like honestly like specific times, not specific, but general times where when that question gets shot out in the beginning of the meeting in the format, is anybody in here willing to be a temporary sponsor? My hand has like a cinder block on it.
Really?
Because I just like don't want to put my hand out and try to help anybody. And it's weird because like it would be easy to say maybe I'm struggling or I'm you know, whatever, being selfish, like you could go down that rabbit hole, but I think a lot of times it's like I'm just overwhelmed, I'm tired, like I don't see how I could have time to take on more. And that's always when like I finally decide to share at the end of the meeting and someone comes up and is like, yo man, like you working with people? And I'm always like, yeah, man, what's your name? Hey, loved what you had to say.
Maybe
like
my shares suck. Maybe that's it.
Nah, your shares don't suck at all. But like I will say that like I think that a lot of it is about where you go, dude.
Fair
Like
enough.
like I feel like at our home group, a lot of people are already settled into other groups. We don't have a recovery house community. We don't have a funky fresh rehab community coming in.
Right.
You know, so but yeah, dude, like my experience with sponsorship in general is just like I get some guys about halfway through. But when it's just to kind of talk about like what it's been throughout kind of the whole course, like I've gotten a lot of guys through 4 and 5. I've gotten a few guys started on amends, but what seems to happen like 70% plus of the time is they lose the fire and just kind of bounce.
Yeah. And that's just how it is. I guess for whatever reason, I just feel like unique in my situation. And like then that spirals into like, what am I doing? How am I falling short? How do I appear to people? Does this mean I'm less than others? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I actually think like you're just to throw you up there a little bit, like your shares are open and like, you know, like you definitely present yourself well. You approach people, you talk to people. Like I feel like it's just the kind of thing where it's like the more that you put your hand out, but like don't worry about like, not that you're worried, but just fuck it. If another year goes by, who cares? Then then like the next week somebody's gonna you know.
I never like think too much about it. It's just kind of like an observation. And I mean, did like bother me a little bit, but it's not like on my mind 24/7. It's not super crucial. Like I never. And like here's like another thing that we talked about before is like going up and like offering to others versus others coming up and asking you, because in my community it was very much you go up and ask if you want somebody to be your sponsor. Like you go up and ask them, and that's what I did. I don't know if I'm too resigned to that or what, if that's just in the back of my head, like part of my foundation subconsciously that I don't really realize. But
yeah, I just think that like it kind of comes and goes in waves for me typically, and yeah, dude, on the sponsorship like topic as a whole though, man, like what I struggle with about sponsorship is like I want the guy that's just willing, ready, let's go.
yeah.
Yes, I will do whatever you suggest, not because you're special, but because I asked you to be my sponsor and that's just what I'm going to do.
That's how my guy was.
But I seldom, if ever, get that. I get the people that think they have God problems. Maybe they do. I get the guys that really don't have an awareness of like any of the resentment, fear, and harm. I just get people that process and like work in all different ways. And like the most challenging part about sobriety for me is like, or I'm sorry, sponsorship is I always kind of am, I want the cookie cutter, but I don't ever get it. I always get hey, this is a human being who's like an individual and you're going to need to using the book, develop an individual approach, because like they're not a robot.
Yeah.
Like they didn't shoot out of bed like the most willing candidate of all
Right.
today.
Yeah.
So I always have to like go back to the drawing board every single time. And like Bill talks about this a lot in working with others, right? Get to know the man, see what his spiritual beliefs are, get a sense of if he even wants to work the steps or stop drinking. Don't push yourself on him. Keep it friendly. But like I just, it's funny how like in the room sometimes, man, we chalk a lot of things up to just he's not willing. But I think sometimes it's just that like people are different and you got to be willing to go sometimes across the line that I want to go. And it's just can be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be like the boundaries that I set when like people ask me, because like we were having a whole conversation before this. Like I don't want. I mean, to be clear, I help people when I'm asked for help, and if somebody has like a pressing issue, and they have like tears in their eyes or they're freaking the fuck out, and they call me, I'm going to talk to them about it and help them. But like. And if they need to drink, by God, fucking call me and I will be there, like just to preface everything that I'm about to say. But I definitely go in and I say, I'm a believer that something that builds, something that's a big builder of fellowship is bringing your problems to the fellowship and not just to your sponsor. Like, so I'm very much of the accord where like, if you're, I'm just not your fucking therapist. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your girlfriend or significant other. There's a lot of things where I'm just not going to impose my will or suggestions just because I believe it's overstepping. I believe that robbing people of mistakes is a bad thing. Or, I'm sorry. Trying to prevent other people making mistakes can be a bad thing. Because I learned a lot in my mistakes. I think that's how people learn. I think it's how people were meant to learn. And dude, we go by the book and we're just going to do the work. It's a very clear boundary kind of thing. It's like, I'm your guy for God, really hardcore fucking problems. Like if you want to drink and like the big book. And even all of that, dude, I'm just giving you stuff and just showing you, and you're going to have your own experiences. And that's it. Like, I'm purely here as like a guide and information. I got like tips and tricks for you along the way. Can be very friendly or whatever, but like, I'm not Jesus Christ for you, dude. I'm not the Almighty. I don't want you praying to me in the morning. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to tell you if you should take that job or if you shouldn't fuck that girl or whatever, dude. Like, that's all beyond me. Like, I'm here to do the AA and God thing, show you what's up, show you what I did, what all of us did, and you're going to have your own experiences, and that's it. And I think, in my experience, I feel like people want to be told what to do more, like in early recovery. Like, they want somebody to be able to call with like 3 different decisions that they had throughout the day. And they subconsciously want more structure and to be told what to do instead of making a choice. And I'm just not willing to do that. I don't know. I think like all those little leaps of faith and choices you should be personal. You should have an experience with them. And then you know what's good or bad, and then you can set your own path from there.
Yeah, it sounds like kind of what you're describing is like pretty purist AA sponsorship, man. And that's, from what I understand, how we started, how we kind of blossomed. And like, I think that one of the tough things is, because I take that approach now more than I ever have. Mm-hmm. Back in the beginning, man, like I was kind of a softie, dude. Like I would be out on a date night with Lauren and like be outside talking to you about something for a half hour while she's sitting at the table. Like,
Right, exactly.
like I had
Yeah.
very poor, I hate the word boundaries, but I had very poor boundaries.
Yeah.
Like I guess it was my way of thinking that like you needed me more than you probably really did in reality. But like, I take that approach way more now than I ever have. And like, I think the issue with it is there's a whole nother school that doesn't operate that way.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother
agree.
school that's going to hold your hand and come to the meeting with you 4 times a week.
Right.
And tell you what to do and give you their opinion and like one of my lines for sponsorship that was really strongly like passed down to me was don't fuck with other people's experience. Don't try to modify their step 3 experience in a way that looked like yours. Don't go telling them all about your 4th and 5th step before they've had their own. You're going to jade what they experience on their own naturally. Don't go giving them like a repertoire of all your amends before they've made any.
Right.
Like, dude, it was made like so. One of the things that was like so firmly said to me, like, don't fuck with other people's experience. Because if you do that, all you're doing is setting them up with the expectation that they need to have something like yours.
Yeah, and then when they don't have it, what happens?
They're disappointed.
Exactly.
So like, but yeah, dude, I think that the issue, you know, just one of the obstacles is like, it's like a lot of things in the rooms, man. There's a lot of people over here and a lot of people over here and a lot of people somewhere in the middle. But like, there are a lot of people who I've worked with. They don't want direction. They want someone to call and talk to and just sort of talk at. And now, if I'm fair, that is a way that a lot of people learn. Like one of the things that like a JP, for example,
Just talking
says is,
themselves through their problems.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's how psychotherapy works. We learn by talking our thoughts out loud to another person.
Yeah,
kind of a little bit of a step.
There were like a
5.
few there. I mean, there have been a few times where that's happened, even just outside of a meeting to somebody that I'm not sponsoring. Which again, I think is where those conversations should be had, because that's, in my opinion, like you and I are building a connection by doing this work. But you can build so many more connections and be more convinced of AA as a whole if you go out there and talk to a few strangers about your problem, and 3 out of 4 of them say that they have experience with that, and here's what they did. Like that's more experience for you, right? But like, there's been numerous times where somebody goes on like a long thing, and at the end I'm like, well, it sounds like you know what you got to do then. And they're like, well, yeah, I guess so, right?
Yeah, dude. But on the flip side of that, I think that sometimes, and we were talking about this outside, when you're around people that talk about their own experience so much, and it makes logical sense to you, just like, oh, so fear, go toward it, not away from it. Got it. Resentment, try my best not to like blame other people. Okay, like the more logical they can make it, it will deter some people from going through with the work. Because now they say to themselves, well, I'm learning a lot of shit just by sitting in the meeting, so I'm good. So I don't need to sit here and pour my heart out to this guy. Like, I got all the education. You and I used to talk about this in the office back in the day. Are we preventing people from having an experience? Are we giving them too much to where, like, when they get out, they're not going to feel like they need to actually go through with this? You know, so I just feel like there's like, yeah, like so many goods and bads, dude. It's like part of it is so helpful, but then, you know, it's yeah, man, like the hand holding and I definitely did not get a lot of hand holding in my experience, and like I was never told who to date or what to do.
No, and after, the only kind of thing that I would get would be like, I think Kim maybe messaged me like after I bailed on meeting up with her to go over my 4th step. After I bailed on that for like, I think twice in a row over 2 weeks, because I hadn't finished. And I said I did because I wanted to people please and I was afraid of disappointing her. And I was still kind of lying about shit back then. But, and then after I came clean and like said that I had to finish writing before and I would let her know, I think like a number of months went by. And then she texted me like, yo, like what's up with that? That might have been like one of the only things. But yeah, definitely not. I mean, she's a fucking saint, like truly. But there was no like call me every day and make sure to check in with me and all this other kind of shit. Like it was very much just like, I'm going to teach you this, go to God with your problems or find a home group and go to them about it. Like, that's not what I'm here for. And yeah, that was about it.
Yeah, dude, I think that I think that the narrower path as like not inclusive or as not as inviting as it can feel for me. I think that if I look at like what it gives an opportunity for people to do, my personal opinion is it's the more productive path. Mm-hmm. Like when it's wide open to like, I'm your ride and I'm your problem guy and I'm your everything, man. I think it just runs into issues, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's the same. And this is where I can drop like something that you said you've been wanting to do and which can definitely help with one of the goals you talked about is that Coddling of the American Mind book, which you could literally download and read by the time I leave the house. So like, I'm just saying, dude. And once you start, like you're going to want to read the rest of it. I promise you. Like it's incredible. Maybe I go back and read it again, but you can't, people get stronger through adversity. They don't like buckle and fall. Now that I say that, but it probably should be taken with a grain of salt in terms of like recovery. But what I'm kind of driving at is like you need to have some sort of foundation that can be self-sustainable. Like if I'm constantly relying on something, I got to be careful how I word this. If I'm constantly relying on another human power to help me with everything that I do, I don't really think it's going to work. I mean, the book says that no human power could have resolved our drinking or whatever the fuck it says. Like we're not relying on human powers anymore. Not my power, not her power, not his power, whatever. Like you have to have, again, with the back, I guess I can say like spiritually backed self-sustainability. Like you need to be able to go out there and make the right decisions on your own and be able to have the motivation to go and get yourself to that meeting, raise your own hand, do your own inventory. Like I'm not gonna, at some point you got to put your own pants on. You know what I mean? Like you got to learn how to do that shit yourself, because at some point I'm not going to be here. If I relied on Kim for everything, I'd be fucked now because she lives in fucking Texas. You know what I mean? I can't go and see her whenever I want. Like at some point when your head hits the pillow, it's just going to be you. You can't try to be everything and all things for a person, because like how are they ever going to manage in the world when they just happen to have a bad day and just are walking by like a dive bar on the corner? You know what I mean? Like what's going to happen then?
So I feel like the word that keeps pinging in my mind that I just have to say and then give a Google definition of, because it's one of my favorite words. So I feel like what you're talking about is discernment. And like if people don't develop the ability to discern what's going on and what they need to do and where they're at on some level, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So like, let me quick give you a definition, because dude, it's so powerful,
Trying to
man.
give up the phone. This is the phone's third appearance on the podcast today. This is crazy.
All right, discernment. Perception in the absence of judgment with a view to obtaining spiritual guidance and understanding.
Jesus Christ. All right.
So like
Expect that.
differentiate the true from the false,
Well, yeah,
right?
that's part of
Discern
it, for sure.
all that.
Yeah. I like that. Hey man, you just fucking can't. It's like, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing with just human beings in general outside of recovery. It's the same thing with like raising children. It's the same thing with all that shit, dude. It's like the more cushy you make the road is like, not to say that you make the road purposely hard and instead of that, but like the more cushy you make the road, like just the less that the person can like be, the less the person can like comfortably exist, in like my opinion. And that's just the way it is, dude. I mean, I had my laundry done for me. I never had any bills. I always had a roof over my head. Like my upbringing, while like they tried their hardest to not let me get away with shit, I would still end up getting away with shit. But like I got to a recovery house and I was just like, I don't know how the fuck to adult. Like I was 22, you know what I mean? Some kids in like my high school had been working a trade for like 6 years since like Votech when they were in high school, and like were already like making salaries and shit because like they went out there and like had to make a living for themselves or their families because they didn't have the ability to just not fucking do anything and be a lazy piece of shit like I was. And like I had to like experience discomfort and pain and grow through that and relearn all of those skills and tools myself in sobriety. And just getting sober and getting to a good spiritual spot is like the same exact thing. Like you need hard times, you need trials and tribulations, and you need to be able to be like you need to be able to do what you have to do in those moments. You can't just, I mean, you should pick up the phone for sure, but you can't pick up the phone all the time, dude. Like you can't always rely on somebody else. Like, and it's weird because we talk about like no more self-reliance and instead reliance on God, but I should definitely be able to, I always hate when like little like crossroads like this pop up. Like I have to be able to rely on myself to make the proper decision to rely on him for pretty much everything, right? Like nobody else can do that for me. I have to make that decision. I have to pray. I have to have that woosah moment when I need it. Like I have to think of like the right things to go across my mind. I have to pick up the pen and paper and write my inventory or like read the prayer. Like I have to do all that shit. Like nobody else, no, like fucking, I don't know, dude. Jack B from like fucking Fraser men's meeting, like in my contact book, isn't going to do that for me. And
yeah, because when it counts the most, I'm not even going to call him. Like,
well, that's true too.
I'll call him when I'm going to feed him a half truth and look for a cosign or encouragement or
Right.
You're doing all right, man. I hear what you're saying, but you're doing all right. I'm not going to call him when it matters the most, unless I've already experienced some pain and might be willing to like start actually doing something.
Right.
Like that's something I always found interesting about. You'll hear a lot of guys say like, why didn't you call? Why didn't you call? It's like, well, because at a certain point of blank spot, nobody calls.
Why didn't you call in the beginning, dude?
Yeah.
What kind of question is that?
I just always found that like a little bit of a comical thing I hear, but yeah, dude, no, I agree, man. Like giving people the space to choose some of the right things. You can't always put everything in front of them.
Yeah, man. And like, and the other thing is like, do you think forever they're going to only make the right choice? If they don't have experience in making the wrong choices, like, dude, you may as well just give them the loaded gun now, bro. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting tired and cranky. I've noticed that my speech is getting a tad more aggressive.
There's
Both
that,
in tone and
there's that
expression.
awareness again.
Yeah. Well, it's all inside, man. It's all internal. It's all internal. But yeah, man, like don't rob people of things that you think might hurt them, because like they're gonna happen anyway. You try your hardest to prevent people from getting hurt, but they're gonna get hurt. You know?
You know, it's kind of funny, just like a little side note, dude. So you've made a strict dad reference a couple times.
Yeah, it's a big metaphor that I use on how I try to treat myself.
But it's kind of funny, dude, because like some would argue that the strict dad is actually the most loving dad,
I agree.
because like he's
I didn't think that before, but I do now.
oh, I didn't have one, but I would not have thought that for years. But it's like there's a lot of love and accountability, man, and like I think that letting people fall is also part of that.
Not like it, and I mean, it's like the message isn't like turn your fucking feelings off and watch somebody else die. Like that's not the message. The message is like, even though it's going to hurt you to do so, you have to let people make mistakes. And like practically when I say like let people make mistakes, like that's when I say like, dude, like just pray about it, and whatever decision you reach, like you can let me know or whatever, but I'm not going to interject myself in this, dude. Like just apply the suggestions, whatever you choose, you're going to choose. And I chose the wrong thing a lot of times, dude. Like early in sobriety, like I chose to fuck the Tinder girl plenty of times. It was the wrong decision. I needed all of those wrong decisions so I could end up on a path to this fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, I don't know, man.
Hey, that guy Frank that I referenced earlier,
Fucking Frank, dude.
he used to say to his guys when they would do like so I would call them 11 steps evening reviews. Yeah. I think in the 12 and 12 that's actually covered in step 10. So they would send him their step 10.
Oh yeah, Kim had me doing that for the first little bit.
And he would always say a Tinder-free day is a good day.
Yeah. There's always that like there's always that internal, well, it used to be like somewhat of a debate in South Philly as to like which step like the nightly inventory was actually a part of. And I purposefully stopped caring about it so long ago. I don't even remember what I settled on. I think it was 11 though.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
When we retire at night.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, there's that. I don't know. I'm getting a little burned out.
Yeah,
my Celsius is wearing off.
I'm a little tired and cranky too. But as always, man, love it.
Yeah.
I hope that like a lot of what we talk about is useful to another person. Truth is, it's always useful to me, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna take away some shit. I'll check back in on the blackout. I got high hopes, but for starters, I would love to read this book.
I have another thing for you, another goal for you. I'm not going to say it on here. It's going to be off. It's going to be off mic.
A little scared now. Should I be?
No.
Okay.
I would bet. I'd probably bet both of my right nuts that you would probably make it a goal for yourself too. But it's funny you say that because like I just got a text message of, I'm just not going to name names, but as we were recording, and not to like blow ourselves up, but just because you said what you said, somebody within like an addicted family member, somebody that I don't know, apparently has been tuning in and says that it helps her a lot.
Beautiful, man.
Love that.
Love that.
Hey, we get at least one view on every video, dude, and that's good enough for me.
Love that.
You know what I mean? Even if they are like my mom and my mother-in-law. Oh, fuck, man. Damn it. I forgot to bring the shirts that she made. Again. Joanne, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If she listens to this or watches it, she probably, as soon as she turns it on, she's probably like, where are the shirts?
Where are the shirts?
Where are the shirts at?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, man.
They both
I'm
gave
so
a
sorry.
they both gave a lot of love at your wedding, though, man.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, they did. But the shirts are cool.
Just bring it next time.
Damn it. But
No-
I said that last time.
No morbid reflection.
Fuck, man.
Take away your usefulness to others.
See, this is when the bad part of my strict father comes in, because now I will think about that the whole way home until I go to bed. I might not even sleep. Who knows? Go Birds this weekend. Phillies are making some signings. No? I saw at least the picture.
I saw. I think Lauren was telling me the other day. It was an American League team they came from, right? Two.
I don't,
It was a 2 package.
I don't know.
But one of them was a starter. Yeah.
I think like I feel like I would care more about like the baseball off season if I felt the draft had any like immediate impact within like 3 years.
That's the craziest thing about baseball, dude.
It's so annoying. Like that's why I love that's another reason why I love hockey. Like first overall pick, 100% guaranteed to play professionally when the season starts.
Not
Like,
baseball.
I just don't like.
You could be the number 1 pick out of high school, and you may. I actually have met quite a few people. Now, to give it some perspective, that might be about 3 who have played professional sports at the minor league levels. One of them's basketball, 2 of them's baseball. And they basically say, like, you reach this point where you're making 40 grand a year and you get your food paid for and like you have perks by being on the team,
Yeah.
but you're not building a career and you don't know if you're going to get moved up and you just walk away. But like, but anyway, dude, like baseball, you could be the number 1 pick in the draft and you have no idea if you will ever have a starting job one day.
You know, like there's that Andrew Painter kid, and there's one other one on I guess he's on Redding. There's one other one in the system, like down on the farm. That's just that's supposed to be a stud. I forget what his name is though. When the fuck am I gonna see them, dude? I'm gonna see them, dude. Am I gonna have a house by then?
Dude, and sometimes this is all sports, but sometimes they don't pan out. Like, dude, remember Dominic Brown? That was crazy, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yo, he was so highly prospected. Everybody was so hype on him.
Yeah.
And he had one good year.
Wasn't he also like working? He was working like a booth at a Phillies game last year or something, where like they easily could have picked the litany of other players in Phillies history to be in a booth for people to meet, other than Dominic Brown. Like, but they had picked. I forget what it was, dude. But I distinctly remember seeing him on TV and just being completely blown away by it.
Yeah, he's definitely part of the organization somehow. Because I remember seeing him hop in the booth with and talking the one day. But yeah, dude, I have the most respect for that sport in that way because like you're taking less risk on the injury front, but you're taking way more risk on the will I ever have a career out of this front.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But then you have people that strangely go way the other way. Remember Scott Kingery, dude?
That sounds familiar.
So Phillies player gets signed this contract like very preemptively.
Okay.
Has one good year, falls off the face of the earth, and the Phillies, like to this, I don't know if they still do, but for a long time, they owned him, but he like wasn't playing at all.
Sweet.
But he couldn't go anywhere else. So.
Are there trade clauses in baseball?
I think there is, what is that period called? My dad taught me all about this. Extradition? No. There's basically this period where you are playing at low money. And then it's not until you go into free agency that you blow up to like multi-millions of dollars.
Extortion?
No. It should be. It should be, yeah.
Extortion.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either, dude. Because hockey, they have trade clauses. Like a team can, like a player can negotiate his contract with the team on like, it'll usually be like bottom 5 teams. They'll say, if you trade me, I don't want to go here. Or there could just be like a total no move clause where that player can't get traded without him agreeing to be traded somewhere. I don't know if baseball did that too.
I know football does, but I don't know if baseball does. So
we got that. We got B tier birds on Sunday.
you gonna watch them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch him. Why not? Just to see Tanner, dude. I just want to see that kid play more. He's been on the sideline what feels like forever.
Now he just comes out and throws bombs. They weren't bombs, but they were nice throws.
He didn't come out and turn the ball over.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Positive plays, cut routes.
And dude, I would be the first to say like Kenny Pickett kind of shut me up. You know what I mean? The Cowboys defense is the Cowboys defense kind of, but like doing all that with broken ribs, which I had no idea about. Like doing all that with broken ribs is it's fire. That's big boy shit. Like props to Pickett. I gotta eat my words publicly. That was good shit. Flyers play Toronto on Sunday. Probably an L. Toronto's just Toronto. And other than that, I don't think we have anything else. We're supposed to have a guest lined up for next weekend. I will message her and see if she's still interested. Hopefully she is, or didn't forget about it. And yeah. Anything else, dude?
Nah, man. Love it.
Coddling of the American Mind.
Got it.
Wicked book.
Can't wait to hear this suggestion of yours too.
Yes, sir. And I feel like there was something else I wanted to say. I feel like I've been wanting to do like the social media plug thing, but now that I'm about to do it, you know what I mean? So yeah. With all that being said, God bless you. We love you. We hope you heard something that helps you.
Good shit, brother.
I was waiting for you to do something. I was thinking like how long